the NBA season starts on Wednesday. And like there's so much going on in the NBA right now that I don't even know where you begin. Like, I don't even care about who's going to win the East or who's going to win the West and all of that stuff. That's going to take care of itself, right? I feel like in a lot of ways, and I mean, I guess this is a space where I'm going to go into like some larger social cultural observations about the way that we consume sports. There's all kinds of ways that it comes up. It's going to probably be a running theme of this show as it goes. I might be trying to write a book about some of these ideas. Keep you posted on all these things. But like, we get so caught up in the like opinion / argumentative space about sports that it's almost like we stop having fun with it, right? Like we all try to be all Nostradamus about it and predict the future. And part of it because you got money on something and everything else. But like we kind of turn these games into something for us to evaluate rather than something for us to enjoy, right? It's like something that allows us a chance to argue instead of something that we got a chance to celebrate. And I feel like right now we got the opportunity, a super duper rare opportunity in such a way that I don't think anybody who's ever watched basketball has had this opportunity where like we get to watch Big Vic from the beginning, okay? I don't know how long this is going to go with Victor Wembanyama. I'll throw it out there for you. Let me say this right now. I call him Big Vic. And you know why I call him Big Vic? Because Wemby is just proof that we as Americans have given up on creativity. This ain't hockey, man, where all you do is just throw a Y on the back of somebody's name and you make it something. This ain't baseball. This is a different world. Since Kevin Durant don't want to be the Slim Reaper, that one's still out there, right? Maybe we can bring it back around. Y'all know me. I call him Le Slim. Because you know when he coming out there to play, man, they're like, hey, man, I got Slim, right? You want Slim on your team. He ain't really big man. He's tall man. But he's not just tall man. Can we show this picture, Sean, right fast? Because Big Vic is not simply tall man. Big Vic is apparently the tallest man who's ever played basketball. And basketball is what tall people do. This really happened, right? Andrew Wiggins is 6'7". And it's basically like somebody told him, hey, man, why don't you try to shoot over a telephone pole? Because this dude went so high into the sky to pitch his shot, it didn't seem humanly possible. We got another clip for you guys, something you will find just as interesting. Now, shout out to all my people that stuck in the 90s and was asking themselves, whatever happened to God, Sham God? For all you youngsters, his name is God. It's on his birth certificate. His name is God Sham God. He played point guard at Providence. He got a dribbling move named after him. He's now an assistant coach for the Mavericks. And what his job is to wear the world's largest, we're number one, foam finger. And the dudes at practice are trying to shoot over him. He got a paddle in his hand that looked like it's 2 feet long. And he's going straight in the air because this is what dudes are having to do to practice and get ready to shoot over Big Vic for Le Slim.
For the listeners at home, it looks like God Sham God is Tom Cruise in that movie Edge of Tomorrow in one of those mech suits with the giant arms and the length. It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, and Big Vic looked like it's a grand opening at some strip mall somewhere. You know the thing, the plastic thing that blow in the wind? You know what I'm talking about? Like that, that's what I've never seen anything like this before in my life. There's no way around it. I went to Summer League this year. I think we may have talked about this before. And I went to Summer League and I watched his first game. And I know it was all jokes on Twitter. There wasn't no jokes in the building. In the building, it was like, oh, this is about to happen. And when I say this is about to happen, can we put up on the screen what Eris Postra had to say about him? Yeah, we've seen the footage. We've read about him. We've heard what everybody said. But until you actually see it live in person, there's no real way to describe it. I was talking to an agent who talked to some guys he had who played against him and said they talked about it like he was a monster. A monster. Dude, did you see what I guess it was against the Heat. I can't remember which game. He's hitting step back threes at 7'3". He's out here hitting these cats with low crosses. He went go-go gadget arms on Thomas Bryant from outside to take the charge circle. Dudes in the NBA are out there like, damn, like they just can't believe it. It was that one play against the Heat where they had Big Vic playing the back line of a zone. And you know how I feel. Zone is for cowards. Not a fan of it. Just like as a lifestyle, as a way of life, as a mentality, all of this. Exception is made if you have the scariest defensive player I have ever seen running the back line. I'm looking at NBA players afraid to shoot like they playing against their dad. And I don't mean one of them kind-hearted dads. I mean that dad that just toss your shit. Like that's what it looked like for NBA players. Like I can't see the goal. This dude is blocking people's three-point shots starting with 1 foot in the paint. What is this? How it happened in France? Like where did this come from? And so I've seen the people who are on the, we'll see if his body holds up. Yeah, we gonna see if his body holds up. We see that with anybody. Why are you hating and not celebrating? Because it makes me think that you're perpetrating and you don't really love this. Like when people start getting into their conversations about people being casuals and everything else, no. If you bout this basketball for real, you are here to marvel at something like this. A 7'3" or 4" dude who handles like a guard, who passes incredibly well, and quite possibly is walking into the NBA as the best defensive player in the league. I just spend all my time being floored and shocked as I watch this. Like, Sean, you're a bit younger than me. Do you have any frame of reference for anything looking like this before?
Yao Ming, maybe, and Sean Bradley before that, but no one can move with the fluidity of Big Vic. And I'm curious. Oh, go for it. What do you got?
Yeah, let me tell you something. Go look up Yao Ming's first game. Yao Ming had 0 points. It looked like he had no business in the NBA. Big Vic looked like the NBA got no business out there with him.
And I'm curious what you think to all these players currently in the league who are saying, well, wait till Wemby gets in the paint. Wait till he takes one hard foul. Like, it doesn't seem like it's an issue.
Are they still saying that? Like, are they still saying that? I mean, I've heard that said before. The thing about the hard foul is ain't nobody taking no hard fouls, number one. Number two, he doesn't really seem to have to go anywhere near the paint if he doesn't want to. Like me and my man Vinny were talking about this on his podcast, The Good Word with Goodwill. Imagine if this dude develops a hook shot. Like, what would you do? If that dude's out there shooting a hook shot, it would look like me throwing trash, like throwing a trash ball into that trash can that's right over there. I'd be coming straight down from the top. Like that's what this would be. What's going to happen when he takes a hard foul? Adam Silver going to come down there and be like, Victor, are you okay? Cut that out. Like we go, and you know what? I'll be like, yeah, that's exactly what we need to do. We need to shut that down right now. Like the Big Vic era has arrived, and I just don't know. I don't need to predict what it's going to be. I don't need to predict no championships. I don't need to predict no MVPs. I'm not here for it. I don't need any of that. I am here for a good time, and this looks like it's going to be as incredible a time as like we've seen. Because like Sean, I heard you, and you basically just mentioned all the super tall dudes. Like I think the closest in frame of reference for him would probably be Ralph Sampson, or what Ralph Sampson dreamed of being, but that was just way far ahead of the idea, and he didn't have this fluidity or this body. The other person that comes up in this discussion would be Kristaps Porzingis, who's roughly the same size. And remember how amazing we thought Porzingis was just for being that tall and being able to shoot threes and do perimeter things. And he could block shots, but he was. Yeah, the unicorn, right. He is not even the beta version of what we're talking about here. Like my man Chet was supposed to be the beta version of this. Chet ain't even get to play a game. Like before we got to see like Chet, because there was all this fascination. I wonder what it's going to be like with Chet. We ain't even get to see it. And then the next version rolled out. And Sean, I did not know this. Apparently Chet and Vic have a bit of a rivalry.
They did play each other in the preseason. They both played very well. And, Chet had post-game comments saying, I can't wait to see him during the regular season. Like Chet's sounding like a vet versus Vic. It's both their first seasons.
Yeah, versus a player who's never played a game. But they have a rivalry that actually precedes this. Like apparently they got their stuff. They got things. They got that. Thank goodness. Look, as a youngster, I needed heroes, and I just ain't really had that many. You're going to have Chet and you're going to have Vic. Like this is great for the skinny man. This is amazing for the skinny man. And I'll have the chance to watch the Spurs play basketball for perhaps the first time in 4 years.